You are live with me, Barry Musa, on the Africa Daily Show on Africa Global Radio. My three colleagues are well seated right about now. Half is going to just join us, and we are about to delve into the conversational segment, which is the discussion zone. Don't forget, your thoughts, opinions, and contributions are definitely welcome. Do so by tweeting at us on Twitter, AF Global Radio, using the hashtag the Africa Daily Show, or via Facebook, Africa Global Radio.
Hi guys, my name is Joey B, aka FM Saying B. Log on to Africa Global Radio. Our story, our growth, our future.
All right, so as the hashtag was today, kind courtesy Epi, it was hashtag Uganda. Today is January 14th, 2021, and of course, it's happening, it's ongoing. I mean, earlier I was actually listening, and they were reporting the casting of ballot by Bobby Wine, who is the main opposition candidates going against the incumbent, Yoweri Museveni, today in Uganda. And it's all becoming very, very interesting. And yeah, I mean, but guys, welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's another election day.
Okay.
It has been an election season for some time now, but today we're focusing our attention on Uganda. I mean, prior to this election, there has been lots of issues going up and down, stories of social media, stories of who is not given the right to do this and everything. But today's the day, and hopefully we pray for. I mean, what we're praying for right about now is about peaceful elections, okay, and free and fair generally. But anyway, Hafiz,
Barry.
today's Uganda's day,
Okay.
and not Independence Day, but election day.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you've been monitoring it, right?
Yeah, I've been following events, and it's the day they decide their democratic future.
Right.
And as a Ghanaian monitoring from Accra, Ghana, I remember when we found ourselves in a similar position.
Right.
I mean, the feeling in the air, the angst, and the uncertainty was almost palpable, really. And so we had our own situation here, and we are still dealing with the aftermath of that election.
Oh yeah,
matters arising.
Yeah.
So, yes, so
they're
election
in
is
court,
not
right?
just
Yeah, they're
yes.
in court.
In fact, so it's not just a one-time thing.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
before the
yeah.
elections, there are preparations. During the elections, there
And
are things
aftermath.
and after. So
Yeah.
it's a whole tedious process. And so for those that are just looking to get it over with, I think, well, it's something they they dread, really.
Yeah.
It's something they come with to end. But then quickly, I think you touched on a bit in your introduction earlier on. But looking at Uganda and their elections, well, the one man that is the incumbent president, talking about Yoweri Museveni,
Right.
contesting on the tickets of the National Resistance Movement.
Right.
That is the NRM. Yes. So. He's been at the helm for more than 3 decades.
Yeah, more than
since
30 years.
1986. Were you born then?
86.
You have to think.
No, I wasn't born then. 1986, no, I wasn't born then.
Wow. So you're
I
still a small boy.
Oh, come on. I was born a year later. It's okay. Move
Whoa.
forward. Move forward.
Whoa.
Move forward.
I didn't see that coming.
You had to see it coming.
Anyway, so
okay.
Been at the helm for more than 3 decades.
Right.
Yes, and he's been credited for steering the affairs of the country to relative peace. And then also one of his credits has been the fact that he's fought the HIV virus, especially the spread. In 2013, he did something very unconventional. Now, he and his wife decided to publicly test for their status, just in an effort to let people, encourage people to go out there to do the testing. And I must say, it yielded results. Because according to some of the numbers that we gathered from the 18% that in the early 90s, when it comes to the spread, it dropped to
In
about
Uganda?
Yes, in Uganda. It dropped to about 6.4 to around the 2004-2005 years.
That's a tremendous, result,
so
huh?
you can see that it actually did a trick.
Right.
But then, I mean, being at the helm, there are certain things he actually did that raised a lot of eyebrows,
Right.
such as actually signing into law that a law that removed the limit on the presidency age, which was 75. So that allowed him to contest again. That was around in 2017. He did something like that. So it actually raised a lot of eyebrows.
Why would you want to do that now?
Exactly. Yes. Now his closest challenger, we're talking about Robert
Bobby Wine,
Kaluyangi or
A-
something.
aka
aka Bobby Wine,
Bobby Wine.
aka Ghetto President, I call him. So
Yeah.
yes, there's a man that a pop star turned politician,
Right.
who's criticized the government at every turn.
Mm.
Yes, he said a lot of things about the Museveni government and how they've handled matters, and the
Affairs, right.
Museveni government in turn have called him a Western puppet and all kinds of.
Mm.
They've treated all kinds of insults both in the public and private domain. So,
Right. Right.
it's been a dirty game between these two so far because, I mean, if you look at the news emanating, the security forces have been accused endlessly of strong arming his supporters. Yes, and a number of times,
Yeah,
really.
yeah,
And their defense is that they were only enforcing COVID-19 protocols, and they have also accused them of using that as a pretext to actually clamp down on their campaign efforts. So
Yeah.
it's been a back and forth
Yeah,
thing. And on the campaign trail, we've actually seen him in a bulletproof vest. And
Yeah.
helmet.
Almost
Yes.
all.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
His
yes.
campaign videos
So
I've seen.
going
he's, yeah.
about his activities and all.
Right.
So it's been an interesting journey, but I mean, it's been. We can't say it has been smooth. Yes, it hasn't been. But on this platform,
Right.
Barry, we are Africa, we are global,
Right.
and the whole idea is to change the narrative. Is to project the African agenda,
Yeah.
Yes.
One that is not being talked about.
Exactly.
The good ones, right?
the good one.
Mm.
And for me, as a Ghanaian monitoring, one thing I find disturbing is the social media angle of
Of the whole conversation. That's
conversation.
true. That's
now,
very true.
on my way this morning,
Mm.
immediately when I, decided to pick my phone and go onto Twitter, on my feed, I saw a video of a boy being assaulted. And the caption on the video read, "This is what happens in Museveni's Uganda." Now, immediately I realized it was a fake video. Why? Because the language in there, I identified it immediately. And it wasn't the Ugandan language.
Okay.
Yes, I knew that. But then I scrolled to the comments section and then I see people, agreeing with the
Trolling,
person.
bashing, and
Yes,
all of
yes,
that.
saying all kinds of things. And I'm like, I mean, it's almost like we get excited seeing negativity. So I simply decided to do my best and then
Right.
put out the correct info there. But then I think a lot of people had retweeted that video. And so for me, that is one aspect of the
The
election
whole
that
narrative.
we need
right.
to be careful, the sort of
content we
content
consume.
we
and-
consume
yeah,
at a time
right.
like this, because there's a lot of unverifiable information out there. You can't police social media.
Fake
and
news.
there's fake news out
Yeah.
there. So, I mean, people are putting whatever it is they want
Right,
out
right,
there. And I think as descending Africans,
Right.
yes, that are looking to rewrite the African story, we need
To be very
careful. We need to
that-
scrutinize everything we see on there before we actually agree or
That's very
decide
true.
to pass it on.
Because some videos could be doctored, you know?
They are a lot
of them
actually.
just coming
yes.
out and you
and we
think-
had our fair share, even as Ghanaians, during our time of elections. We saw some certain
Oh, yeah,
videos. And
yeah.
clearly, these videos.
This is not coming from Ghana, but then
Yes, but the agenda. on
it looks,
Twitter.
yeah, exactly.
Anyway, and there's this other part relation to hashtags. And you said something about prayers. And for me, I find it very disturbing when we are talking about prayers. We are talking constantly hammering on that because someone has decided to run for office.
Right.
Is there a time we would get to where we wouldn't have to go on our knees and hope and pray that
Something.
there won't be any eventuality?
Right.
I mean, you should go out there and cast your ballot. That's it.
Free and fair,
People
open
shouldn't
space.
lose their lives
Yeah, not-
because
not-
someone
Don't feel
is seeking
threatened,
power.
yeah?
Exactly.
Right.
I mean,
right.
I really want to see it. So I saw a hashtag pray for Uganda. I'm like, nah, that's not it. Like,
What's happening in Uganda? It's just an election.
it's just an election.
Exactly.
I mean, we shouldn't be sitting on tenterhooks because, I mean, people are seeking to
I don't
your
know.
mandate.
I don't know, but I feel most of the times, whenever it gets to that period where an African country is about to head to the polls and everything, it becomes a moment of self. You get that fright. You're scared. I don't know what could be the reasons, because there could be a number of reasons why some of these things could be happening, because for all you know, maybe past experiences based on their own political history and everything. So I think it's a general feeling. I mean, a number of countries, Ghana is like, pray for Ghana, they start singing peace songs and this and that's like, what is
songs.
happening? Are we going to die at the end of the day? But anyway, thank you very much, Hafiz. Let me go to Epe. With regards to social media, Epe, you actually tackled a particular story that says Ugandan government is accusing Facebook of interfering, and then now officially they have actually stopped Facebook from operating at the moment, publishing anything that has to do with the government and elections and all of that. Anyway, tell us more.
Yesterday I mentioned here that Uganda, the government had actually accused Facebook of interfering due to the things it was churning out.
Right.
Until they stopped, they banned Facebook and Twitter.
Mm.
And today we actually found out that the access to internet is actually being cut down. Yeah, it's been cut off in Uganda. So basically that's what's happening there. But we know they're currently voting today. The results, yes, we're waiting for it and we're yet to come out with it. I do beg to differ a little bit, though, with the point both you and Hafiz made with regards to praying when it comes to elections. I think this comes to see that people have actually lived long enough to see elections that have turned into bloody wars.
Okay.
So thereby they actually hope for the better. That is why they actually cling on to praying. And let's not forget, I mean, when it comes to Africa, it comes to the traditions. Yes, they believe in the supreme being. It doesn't matter which religion it is. So most of them believe that in order to avert such crisis or anything, left to the shoulders on which all these things would happen, things could happen. But things could go, I mean, the opposite direction. Right? So they just hope for the better and pray
are we
that
all,
it
but
doesn't
it
happen.
seems we're anticipating that something would happen.
No, it's because they've had an experience of such things happening before. If you've had a bad experience, you prepare for the worst, naturally. I mean, it's good to prepare for the best, but nothing goes wrong if you prepare for the worst and then the best happens.
I think it blows out of proportion. From my,
I wouldn't.
Prayer,
I wouldn't say
prayer
it blows out of proportion.
Prayer is something that, you know. I mean, we saw what happened in is it Istanbul? The blasting, was it Turkey?
Blasting.
The one, I think the ports, the sheep.
Lebanon
rather. The capital city. It was hashtag pray for. I can't remember the capital city, but in Lebanon, it was a hashtag pray for that stuff, right? We saw a couple of things happening in some jurisdictions. There's a hashtag pray for this, pray for that. It wasn't elections. So I feel it blows out of proportion. I mean, definitely we will pray. I mean, on our daily basis, we pray, right? But it's just that we see that particular exercise as a great something that
a do or die
affair, which shouldn't be the case. I mean, we've seen,
but we do realize that is how it has become. I mean,
should
should that be the case?
You see, it shouldn't be, but that is how it has become. So based on the experience, that's why people go and say pray for it, because people have actually waked up to see.
Beirut in Lebanon.
People have actually waked up to see that we're going to vote, and then we're hoping for the results, and it turns into something else. It becomes
is it an African
endless
thing?
week. It's not about it being an African thing. You're not getting the point I'm making. The point is systems should be working, but they are not. And we've had issues where we've seen different things, different outcomes when it comes to elections in certain African countries. And those people have actually known and experienced and see what it is to actually live in the dark times of those, the aftermath of such wars and things. So they're praying for actually trying to hope that such times shouldn't befall us again. I think it's easy for us, those of us who have not had the experience of having to go cast, and then it turns out that they don't give it to who wins, or it becomes a military something and it turns into this back and forth. For us, it's just, I mean, just go cast your vote, let them count, and then go. Yeah, but for those with the experience, they know it takes much more than that. Yes.
Okay, Hafiz, real quick.
Yes. You see, fine. It's okay to every now and then ask for spiritual reinforcement,
intervention, and all.
Yes.
Right.
Regarding whatever it is you do, I get it. Psychologically, it's a booster. But then, I mean, the point Barry and I are raising is simple. Sometimes we feel it's being overplayed because, I mean, it's just an election. It should be just that. But then it all boils down to the fact that a lot of the time it's not just merely an election for a lot of these places, because, I mean, it's a fight for power. Okay.
Right.
And this is primarily because a lot of people see power as an avenue to enrich themselves. They go in there. I mean, they are attracted to these offices because of the perks that comes with holding some of these, offices. So they go in there, and the whole idea is not to better the lots of the people that want to vote them in there, but the whole idea is to better their own lives. And so we see all people doing all kinds of unthinkable things just so they were able to, to find themselves in the corridors of power. So yes, I think that is basically it, and that shouldn't be the case, because holding a public office simply means you are a servant
of the people.
the president is the butler
Yeah.
of the
You're
people.
supposed to do what?
So-
what- You're supposed to serve them, huh?
the people's butler. So, I mean, that's the whole idea.
Mm.
But we see people angling for these positions and doing all manner of things.
Mm.
And the question is why?
All right, thank you very much, Hafiz. Before I get to Mami, now this is one of the newspapers in Uganda. It says we've been beating journalists to restrain them from going where there's danger, and by this from the Ugandan, police department.
Beating them to protect them?
Well, sometimes some of these journalists could be very stubborn. Don't go here, and they go there.
But
So
for whatever reason,
that's
you
from the
don't-
IGP,
but
Martin Ochola. But it actually brings about some
I
of those
mean,
scares,
a,
yeah.
A journalist is supposed to disseminate information, tell the truth,
And
do whichever means you're going to get
to
it.
get the stories right.
So
Mm.
if you're telling me not to go here, then it means there's something that the world
Fishy, shouldn't know about.
Should know that
Mm.
you don't want the world to know
right,
about.
right, right.
And once people decide to do something, like once I decide to choose as a profession, sometimes I'm willing to die for it.
Right. It goes on to say, when a police officer tells you to stop, you must stop for your own safety. I won't apologize for police actions, IGP Martin Ochola in Uganda says. Anyway.
And speaking of matters arising, I mean, we've heard of instances. The U.S.
The U.S.
ambassadors-
Embassy, they are not actually observing the elections. I mean,
Yes.
what's happening home is not even...
Natalie Brown,
Yeah.
she's the U.S. ambassador to
To
Uganda,
Uganda.
and she's complained that more than 75% of her people were denied accreditation, so they wouldn't be observing the election.
Right. Well, we'll get
And-
back to that. Mami,
Barry.
Bobby Wine. You're a fan of his music, are you?
Ghetto president.
My friend.
Is that what he's called?
Yeah,
Well,
that's what they call him.
AKA.
That's what he calls him.
I
yeah.
mean, he's
he
def-
said he's a ghetto
President,
ghetto
you know.
person with something to say in music.
Well, yeah,
That's
there's a
his
lot. I
vibe.
mean, he started off from the ghetto with his musical career
From
and
the
everything
slums of Kampala.
before he actually decided to run for, is it an MP
Yes,
position?
in
And he
2017.
won, and it started off from there.
I feel like it's like this. Their current president.
Yeah, you worry, Museveni.
Has been in power since.
Over 30 years.
Yes. So for
34.
somebody from
34 years, right?
So for somebody to stand up against him,
Mm.
I feel like that is what is bringing about all of these things that are happening.
Yeah. So,
So from my opinion, it's like, I mean, I've been in power for 34 years.
okay.
And I am running again because I still want to hold power.
Okay.
So why are you standing against me?
I thought it was a democratical scene. It's a democracy, right? Everybody has the
Exactly.
right to also
But
participate.
the thing that makes his run contentious is the fact that, like I mentioned in 2017, where he decided to rewrite the constitution and decided to
Yeah,
increase
so-
the age.
so this is a person who-
you know,
In not so clear terms,
similar.
does not want to leave the seat.
Similar circumstance happened in Cote d'Ivoire when Alassane Ouattara, who was looking to step down to allow one of his ministers, I think the prime minister, who he passed on eventually, wasn't able. He was supposed to lead the party, to the next election, but then he didn't make it. I mean, he passed on, unfortunately, sad events. And then at that time, Lassana had changed the constitution to allow a president to run for 3 terms. Okay, so but then the thing is, he decided not to run again, but he did change that constitution to make it that way.
That provision. Okay.
For only God knows why he did that, and at the same time looking to step down. So upon the demise of this particular man who was supposed to lead the party, it was like, okay, we have no option, lead the way. Sparked another controversy and everything. Why would you change this and everything? So
Everyone seems to be talking about Bobby Wine, but there's a lady in there actually, Nancy Kalimbe.
Okay.
Yes, she's she's actually quiet, but then the whole idea is not because of a gender thing. It definitely has to do with her pool power, which is not so.
she's
good.
one of the running
Yes. of the
Okay.
10, yes.
Independent.
candidate, independent
Yeah,
candidate.
she's an
Yes.
independent
Mhm.
candidate.
Okay, okay.
She's in there somewhere. So, I mean, Museveni is a complex character.
Mm.
Yes. If you look at his support base, it's largely in the rural areas.
Okay.
Yes, it's largely in the rural areas.
Mm.
So that's why usually when you get onto social media at a time like this,
Mm.
especially with the hashtags, I usually take, the comments and all the projections with a pinch of salt.
Mm.
For a simple reason, a
Mm.
lot of the time you don't have the grassroots represented on this.
Representing, yeah. So
on-
you
on
see,
this
that
platform.
these are the millennials who are
Exactly.
actually behind Bobby
That have
Wine. And
smartphones and everything. So
yeah.
they seem to project their own agenda.
Mhm.
But
So far,
you
you've not
speak
heard
to
the
someone
other
on the
side of
ground,
the story.
and you get a different
Different-
picture.
exactly.
So so we see some of these things happening, especially at the time. I mean, a few days ago, April read a story about how Facebook had closed down accounts of belonging to
Yeah,
supporters
yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
Museveni.
I mean, those
Yes.
in his government,
Exactly.
right? Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
And we are seeing a retaliatory,
Like banning
behavior.
Facebook.
Exactly, Facebook and Twitter.
Yeah.
And the uproar is simply because Facebook and Twitter has a lot of has a lot of the numbers. So when you ban these two
And
social
reach
media
out to
networks
lots of people.
and reach, yes. So if you ban these two social media networks,
Giants, yeah.
you practically have nothing for the millennials to talk about.
Yeah.
of places. So
Yeah.
I mean, so that's what is happening in there. But hopefully, Uganda comes out the winner. They come
Yeah,
out
the most
unscathed
important
because
thing, right.
I mean, holding an election, well, it's
There's also an interesting, conversation here. Now, Wole Soyinka, of course, I mean, the Nobel Peace Prize winner,
okay.
I mean, a renowned, author, playwright, and everything. He has actually backed Bobby Wine's bid to be president. Calls him the face of democracy for Uganda, despite being an octogenarian himself. Says, I mean, they are fed up with Museveni's regime, and I mean, unfortunately, I mean, this is what they're
Who
not
is
really
they?
good for.
Who is they?
For really, but then Wole Soyinka has backed Bobby Wine, and calling him the face of democracy, and I mean, looking to. I mean, let's allow the older men, per his own, statement. Let's allow these older men to step aside for the younger generations to take over. But like you said, you've not heard the other side of the story, where I mean, Museveni reaches the rural people, and is somewhat key. Because I mean, for those of us in the city, I mean, yeah, we're in the city, we're having all the
You see,
the fast life and
it
everything.
brings me back to the American election, where you got onto these social media platforms. You would think the whole of America hated Trump. But then when it turned out that he was about to win, I'm talking about the first elections.
Yeah,
people
yeah.
were like, whoa, where is this coming
In
from?
2016, yeah.
Yes, people were surprised. Where is this coming
Yeah,
from? That's
yeah.
likely because a lot of them are what you'd call the silent voters, the silent majority. They are out there. They subscribe to his ideals, but you won't see them being loud about it.
Right.
They are quiet, but they'll go out there and actually vote for him. Okay, so but then with Uganda, there are transparency issues because of all the intimidation tactics, all the crackdowns we've seen on the activities of the opposition in their bid to actually garner support.
Right.
Because I mean, if you have people that are beating on the streets and all kinds of burning is going on, and you don't exactly people to trust, whatever that comes out of your EC's domain. But
Yeah.
hopefully, cool heads will prevail.
Okay.
And, Uganda will be the winner.
Okay, thank you, Mami. Wanna
Alright.
ride on a?
Yeah, I was sorry to bring you guys back, but I was thinking about this whole age thing about running for presidency.
Okay.
I feel like it doesn't give room for the youth to take a place like a presidential position, because I think here in Abe's Ghana is I think is it 45
The age cap, yeah.
the age gap to run for presidency is like 45, and then Uganda is
It was 75.
but
He
now
changed it.
to
He's 76 actually. So
so you see.
Yeah.
So then it's like the youth is not given the opportunity to run for presidency.
Right.
And I think it's not good. Because if we keep saying the youth is the future of the world, I mean, we bring up kids and we're like,
When
they're
are
the
they going to
future
start exhibiting
generation.
that leadership? Yeah.
And
What's-
with the things happening around the world, we've seen the youth make impacts in so many different regions.
I agree with you. Talking about age and occupying leadership positions in governments and everything. Now, I once had I actually listened to the interview. It was the High Commissioner, or he's an ambassador actually to India, Professor Michael Quay Jr. Michael Quay Jr.
that's the son.
the son,
Okay.
the ambassador to India.
Okay.
He talked about the fact that when he went, I mean, he sees that position to be for the more mature,
The older generation.
exactly. But when he got there, most of the ambassadors, the high commissioners of different countries that he met, some were as young as 38,
See?
35, 33. Look, the one my dad used to work for, General Mayunga, the guy was like almost 80 in Tanzania. Yes, Tanzania High Commissioner to Nigeria. He was almost 80. He was Dada. He had white hair. So you see these positions for
Just Google the Nigerian ambassador to US and tell me what you see.
guy.
But
and look at the president of France. Well, not to digress, but I think it's not necessarily
it's not a good look.
age, yes, but I think the experience and what you're
You see,
bringing on the table matters.
It matters. We keep hammering on the fact that youth, exactly. But then, for the older generation, the excuse has always been, okay, you bring in the youth, they are largely inexperienced. Okay, chances are they're going to send us 10 times backward if we've actually made some gains.
Okay.
Yes. So for those that are unwilling to relinquish power, usually that's the go-to excuse. You guys are inexperienced, and the world will chew you and spit you out.
What do you
when it
do
comes to
to gain
diplomacy.
these experience? What are some of the
Well, unfortunately, it's not a job title that comes with experience. You learn on the job. So,
yeah.
yes, we've seen footballers turn presidents.
Yeah,
So
of course.
So anything is possible. We've seen Donald Trump was president, so
Yeah.
make of that what you will.
What was your problem?
I cannot believe he said that.
No, I mean,
Did I say something?
no, I mean, we never saw that coming.
Yeah, but
For some time back, you didn't see Donald Trump becoming president. You see that business
Hey, we are losing track.
mogul. You see that business
Don't let people
mogul.
focus on
Like,
that.
maybe- But then,
but I feel like the youth should be given the opportunity.
Oh yeah,
Because
definitely.
most of, let's say, the older generation that we are living in the world with right now are so stuck in their ways. And it's like the ideas are in the heads of the youth. I mean, we are how do they call
But
it?
you've-
The computer generation.
The tech
Okay.
savvies and
So
all.
we are the screen generation, and we're always looking into our phones, and we're always on our screens, and But it is these screens that has led to a lot of change happening in the
Okay.
world since this whole COVID thing started, or even
A
before.
lot of things, right,
A lot
a
of
lot of
things have
things.
happened technology-wise, and they are doings of the youth. So I feel like if the youth is given the opportunity to hold positions, especially in government,
They can make a
it'll,
change, huh?
it'll make the world a better place.
All right. Thank you very much. Epi, any last words so we can wrap it up? No time.
We hope for peace.
And
then
Uganda,
free and
yeah.
fair, yes,
I think
elections
that's
in Uganda,
definitely
yes.
the ultimate we're all looking out for. Thank you very much, guys, for joining us on the discussion zone right here on the Africa Daily Show on Africa Global Radio.